Hey everybody, Jay Marino here. Welcome back. It's the Battle for Middle-earth. It's the finale. This is the last episode of this game, and I've had a lot of fun with this game. It's been way more fun than I initially expected. We hit that continue campaign button, and we're heading to Minas Tirith. I've been a little low energy the last few episodes, and that's because it's been pretty repetitive taking over the entirety of Middle-earth. And in retrospect, as I said near the end of the good campaign, I probably didn't need to make episodes out of all that. But we did it. I am a completionist.
Victory is near. The enemies of darkness will be shown no mercy.
You'll love to hear it. We're one
Devastation.
Oh, am I gonna get Grand?
Several small villages have yet to evacuate. The city gets food from these villages. The world of men is coming to an end. Make camp and increase our numbers.
Dude! Do you see what I'm seeing? We've got two Nazgul and the Witch King. That's fun. Witch King, come and kill a trebuchet. Do you think they'll rebuild those? Almost definitely, right? We have also a ton of money. We'll give him a little screech. I mean, ouch. I think that must be Faramir, right? Yeah. Avoid him. Okay, regardless, that was worth it. They might rebuild those, but, like, that was a good start. That was a good start. Let's do this. Oh, Witch King goes down. Allow me to resummon him. It's fine. Get some forges. We're going to get some siege workshops. We're going to get... Oh, yeah, see, look, it's orcs. Well, I just got Mordor Siege Works. Oh my god, I don't have access to my Isengard. Oh no. Alright, well. Get troll cages. Get more forges. Dude, they came out just like I did when I played this. They came out for a sortie. Alright, so let's just get everything set up here properly. And we're going to need so many catapults. Actually, my supply is not good. I don't know why I have so much extra supply. Maybe the Nazgul count as supply? Almost definitely, right? It said to destroy the outlying villages, so let's do that. Are they rebuilding trebuchets? It doesn't seem like it. If they don't rebuild the trebuchets... Again, we go and we pick some of these off. Oh, we got some free orcs, that's why. I don't want those. I wonder if I can resummon the Nazgul. Let's go ahead and send this one up here. Again, we want to just get rid of as many of these defensive emplacements as possible. We got some free supply now, and we probably lost some orcs. Again, I don't know why I was given these. I don't want them. Where's my siege works? We're gonna need so many catapults. You ready for that? So let us avoid Gandalf and just continue picking off trebuchets around the sides of the city. Then we can move in. What's going on down here? Okay, I guess we can go and take that if we want. I mean, it said pretty explicitly to take out the... It said pretty explicitly to take out the things. The outlying areas. Again, I'm just going to take out as many trebuchets as I can. It's possible they'll rebuild them all, as I had mentioned.
There's a catapult. Just finished.
But, like, this is literally what the Nazgul are for, so that's what we're using them for. Let's take a group. Come up here. We could take this. Okay, we're alive with the Nazgul. Move back. Witch King is on his way back out. He got roasted really early. Maybe he got killed by Faramir and, you know, that group. Let's take part of the Isengard army and come on up here and take care of these outlying areas, as has been advertised to me. And then we can set this up. So, yeah, it's Mordor. You hate to see it, man. You know what? Get some Mumakil pens.
Use that catapult.
Come to me,
Okay.
my
I
creature.
don't really need these. Okay, we did that.
Hear the
Destroy all heroes. Oh, you know that's got to happen. Look at that. See, they're not rebuilding the trebuchets. Oh. Okay, so how do we want to do this? We want to get our pikemen in the front to move forward and just start killing... Well, you know what's interesting? Where are my catapults? Just move up catapults and go ahead and start attacking the gate. Because there's no archers around here. I don't know what happened or why they're not there. But there's no archers. I mean, yeah, these are level 10 knights, but I really am not concerned. Believe you me. I'm just gonna make slaughterhouses here. I don't want extra laborers cluttering up my supply where possible. It's gonna take legitimate years to destroy this. We're gonna need to get rid of these trebuchets that are way up there too. Dude, this lady's screaming about her kid. Don't speak to me, all right? We could run the Nazgul in again and just start hitting these back here. Again, it puts them in range of the guys on the back wall. There's also more trebuchets over here, which I should probably come up and take care of. Oh, gosh. So, not just catapults. And never mind, we're maxed out now. The mortar catapults are worse as well. Okay. Witch King's back out, and he gives us leadership, which we don't really need, but it exists. And then while those guys are doing that, let's take our Isengard armies plus additional orcs that we have for whatever reason and come over to the left. I'm going to guess that Gondor's going to show up. By the way, let's do Freezing Rain. Get them scared, get them cold, get them shivering. Because it seems like they are sending some knights out every so often, but if they're not sending that many, we could just take this opportunity to keep breaking the door.
We got him again. There it goes. Be ready. Keep going. Go.
Again, because I can... Oh, and technically we're supposed to be destroying these two, because it said destroy the outlying villages, right? So I'm kind of concerned that by doing that, we're going to kick off some weird, goofy trigger on the map. They'll start, like, rebuilding the trebuchets or something. You never know. But in any case, what we can do is move up here, take out these groups of units. These guys don't need to be this close to the front. And then we swing up and we use our crossbowmen to kill the guys on top of the walls, on tops of the walls. And because we're not Isengard, we can't build the Isengard keeps. We're stuck with Mordor. Luckily, I remember how to play Mordor, but, you know.
We're under attack.
I think there's one archer that's shooting me up there, but he's not going to be able to do very much. Okay, we destroyed these. Again, I'll make these slaughterhouses. It will intimidate them. I guess I can also tell my... I could tell my catapults to, like, fire human heads or something weird like that. Dude, is this just like a civilian? Murder them. They're not even inside the walls. They deserve to go.
Come, my servants. You are weak.
That was great. Okay, everybody back up. Again, those trebuchets are a problem. You guys kill this group. You guys kill this group. And let's back away. We have to decide the best way to approach the door.
You're too slow. Down with their buildings.
I'm actually leaning towards making... Oh, we can make... No, we can make Grand. Okay, we must make Grand, first and foremost.
We're under attack.
And then we'll make more catapults. What? Why? Why? Just why?
Are you pushing?
I'm just gonna make orc pits, troll cages. How many command points are the Mumakil? 30. Weak versus fire and siege. They certainly are. So there's Gandalf and Faramir. I assume again the rest of the Fellowship might show up because it showed.
We'll destroy the place.
It showed Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas coming in at a certain point. Let's use the Witch King. Well, we don't necessarily need to take those out right away. I'm going to come down and around. And go up the side and get rid of these trebuchets that are on the upper level. That feels like the smart thing to do.
They're attacking us.
And then we'll use the rest of the Nazgul later.
We've expanded the great sea.
I'm not sure what hit him. It might have been Faramir.
You can't keep us out forever. Send in. Grand. We've expanded the
Rohan army arrives in 3 minutes. Okay. Seems like building Grand is what triggers that. I'm fine. Honestly, I'm fine sacking the Witch King if I can get most of these trebs on the upper area. Watch the sky for eagles. Uh-oh. Oh! Big bummer. In any case, we got most of them. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Where's Grand? There's Grand. Grand. Eagle's getting roasted pretty fast. It's fine. Okay.
Listen here. All right. Let's make use of this catapult.
I'm gonna go ahead and start making some trolls to run in there for the... Yeah, and let's go. Let's get in there, buddy. We probably don't want to kill our own stuff with the catapults, though. It's Grand. Let's go. Oh, okay, yeah, we're getting in. So originally, Rohan was showing up in the upper right, so let's position ourselves for that. Get our pikes. Attack while the city is in panic. Well, we also have spooky Rohan coming. Let's go ahead and start getting the Witch King back out. We're also very close to getting our Balrog. I would very much like that. Dude, it's Gandalf. No! Dude, he canceled it. Why didn't he use it? Got him. Got him. Gandalf the dead. And then Faramir is just standing there. We're hitting him with catapults. Dude, let's go. Give me the Balrog. And Faramir is dead. We're going to wait for Rohan to appear. They're going to run into our pikemen. And then we're going to push into the city. Are they up here? Yes. They're also causing us to cower. Can I use darkness? Kill Eowyn in the Rohirrim.
Arise, runners of Meriden! Shields shall be splintered!
Oh, we killed Theoden at Helm's Deep.
World's ending!
let's move up. We're going to take these guys out. We're going to use darkness. And then, goodbye, my friends. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, what a bummer. We've had these pikemen built up now for this moment, basically. Lady Eowyn is no more. Let's get their cav archers. Please tell me they're not rebuilding the trebuchets. You'll love to see it. Okay. And we still have Grond. I'm not really sure what we're going to use Grond for, but Gandalf's dead, which means there's not going to be anything that can possibly take this thing down. So let's just go ahead and roll it in and start attacking structures. And then we're waiting for Witch King to come back out to take out the rest of the trebuchets, and we're going to move in. This is why you don't have to necessarily use a giant human or orcish shield. Not enough command points. Okay, let's go in.
Advance to the second level.
Let's get some Nazgul up here very quickly. I mean, they might get picked off, but my goal is, again, I want to just take out these remaining trebuchets. Okay, and then flee. Keep them back. Okay, and we are in. Go and get the last trebs. I said go and get the last trebs. Okay, well, that's fine. They did what they needed to do. Oh, we can rebuild them too. That's not fair. Okay, they're not, I mean, they're not doing those either. And then Grond's in here just hanging out.
Tear them down.
It's unclear if they're going to rebuild this stuff or what.
This way.
Okay, let's back up.
Hurry up.
You guys turn and fight these tower guards. Again, I very much like to just come back to the middle. Catapults move all the way in. We're going to get into the second level here soon enough. There's one remaining treb. I thought Witch King was coming back out. Did I overwrite it by queuing up the other Nazgul? I must have. What about here instead? Okay, well, they're on their way out. Okay, let's keep heading over in this direction. Just got to keep this army together and just keep pushing. We're losing some stuff, but honestly, this is acceptable. We just have to keep pushing to the left. How do I get up there? I mean, I see some stairs there. I can go either side, actually. So let's go to the left, because we know there are no more trebuchets over here. Yep, they're cowering. That's good. It would appear as if Aragorn just decided that he didn't need to come over here anymore. Let's go ahead and try and pick this off. Grond, I just roll all the way over that way instead. Darkness again. Just keep it darkness. These structures are in my way and irritating. Let's just go ahead and get rid of them. Okay, they're not rebuilding anything. There's still a lot of stuff up here. I'm not going to be able to use that anywhere. We can put one down right outside the gates, though.
The enemy is on us.
That's pretty good. Okay, let's keep going.
Keep going.
Victory is at hand.
Still waiting on our Nazgul and Witch King to be back out. They'll make their way out eventually.
A new power is rising.
And then we have to get up this ramp up here, which is going to be difficult. Don't go that way, though. And Grand is basically just going to be stuck down here. Where is, There he is. Use Worm Tongue right here. Okay.
They're attacking us.
Maybe these guys attack here. Let's go to move this group up.
Isengard will prevail.
I'm trying very hard to get up here. There we go. Okay, we're making it up the stairs. I feel like we're trying to use Dragoons to walk upstairs. It's not super pleasant, but...
Victory is at hand. Show them no mercy.
These Tower Guard really want to get up there. Grand's not going anywhere. We know this for certain.
We'll destroy the place. Load it up. We'll destroy the place.
Nazgul are back. At least one of them is. Again, I think there's like one or two more Trebs, but I don't think we need to worry about those. Let's just bring the Nazgul over to this side so it can kind of cover us. We're up to the second level, and we just have to meticulously destroy each remaining area. This is much, much different than the end of the Good campaign, right? We're full-on offensive instead of defensive. And I did very poorly on the last Good mission. I think everyone can attest to that.
None shall oppose us.
All right. We might be taking friendly fire from our catapults. Again, the Mordor siege weaponry does not do too well, I think, in combination with the Isengard army.
Over here.
Just about there. I think I do want to send a Nazgul around to take those out.
Just arrived.
It said to kill all the heroes. Did I?
Your feet. The enemy is on us.
Again, eventually, Aragorn's going to show up, right?
For the eye.
Also, they're rebuilding the stuff on the lower levels, because of course they are.
You watching this?
But we destroyed their ability to make more, right? We got rid of the little tower thing. Alright, take this. It just sort of disappeared. And then take this. Smash. Cool. All of our Nazgul are back. Grom's just hanging out.
A new power is rising. Come, my servants. Move on. Crush them.
All right, so they rebuilt this bottom area right there, but they're not going to be able to rebuild anything else.
Kill them all.
So let's head back down. I guess let's just start slamming out orcs for free and trolls. Make a Muma kill. I don't give a shit. Right, and then we can do this thing where like the orcs' production speed is increased significantly. Wow, that's no joke. It is actually a lot.
Isengard will prevail. Isengard will prevail.
Whoosh.
Time has come.
All right, there really aren't many Athelian Rangers left, which means send them all in. Some Athelian Rangers made it outside the city somehow. I would try to leave too if I were them. Nazgul's just out here killing civilians. Orcs marauding on the outskirts as well. As Saruman dies. Very fitting.
Sauron's dominion over Middle-earth draws near.
The Oathbreaker army was supposed to show up, though, right? Oh, I never summoned the Balrog. I'm so sorry, everybody. I don't need I don't need evil Morgoth army help from the First Age, okay? This just goes to show that I can handle, or rather Isengard can handle, taking out Minas Tirith, the final stand of man, by themselves. Again, Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli didn't show up. That might have been a timer thing, but we finished this no problem. It seems like a big part of it is because they don't rebuild trebuchets. Maybe they do on higher difficulties, which would make this much more difficult. Interesting how they force you to use Mordor here as well. Look at that. Lots of survivors. Orc warrior hordes. You love to see it. And yeah, a lot of our... Like, look at this group from Fangorn. They made it the whole way. Good for them. Let's see what our total campaign score was. Just victory. No total victory? That makes me a little sad. Maybe we only needed 3 mil to get there. But you know what? I did rush a lot. I didn't spread out veterancy on armies, which would have helped a lot. But that's okay. You know, I guess we could talk about the game a little bit while the credits roll. I just didn't really care for the evil factions nearly as much. Like, if I had to pick one, it would be Isengard, but I liked both of the human factions way more than either of the evil factions. So if I had to pick, it would definitely be probably Rohan, Gondor. Well, I don't know. Those are kind of interchangeable. I don't think I leaned hard enough into the Rangers as Gondor. If I would have made literally only Rangers, that could have been pretty good. I wanted Ranger Tower Guard compositions going, but that was one where the game just gave me free units and kind of screwed me out of it. Also, no music. So I would say probably Rohan, because I had fun with the cavalry and the cav archers, and then, of course, the peasants. How could I forget the peasants? The elven archers are also quite good. So, like, I like the Rohan composition. I like Gondor's ability to make the marketplace and the stoneworks and eventually trebuchets, even though I didn't really use the trebuchets. So I would say, if I had to order them, it would be Rohan, Gondor, Isengard, and then a distant fourth of Mordor. And I've talked about this at length, and I'm sure... You know, and I've seen, you know, some folks in the comments talking about Mordor and you know, how to play them and all that. I just don't really care for it, right? That makes a big difference for me. It's less that I don't understand it as much as I don't like it, and because I don't like it, I don't play it particularly well. Or maybe those are interchangeable. Because I don't play it well, I don't like it. I'm not really sure. But I think it's more because I really enjoy the way the game rolls your army forward. That's without a doubt my favorite part of this game. Not even so much the heroes, but the armies. I think that's so fun. And it's just, it's fun to be rewarded in the late game for diligence in the early mid game. So like these last few videos, I know were a bit repetitive, but I quite liked them because, again, I was able to take these armies that I had built over the course of hours and had preserved, and then take them and just wipe the map with them. And that, to me, is very fun. And I know maybe it's not the most titillating of viewer experiences, but again, in terms of how I like to play games, I like to, you know, not know what I'm doing at the start, as I pick up the game and I start seeing kind of the strings behind it, and in this case, it was the unit veterancy and the best way to accrue it, and how you could only get, realistically, 1 level per mission per squad, you know, and then focus on that, and you know, some mild min-maxing in order to utilize that, and then be rewarded for doing that, right? So the game definitely still gets harder, but you can mitigate it by being very diligent. The Mordor faction is the complete antithesis of that entire idea. So not only is it the opposite of what I think the strength of the game is, but it's also the opposite of how I enjoy to play really any game. I don't know, though. I mean, it's very Zergy in its way, but I don't think that the gameplay of this game really functions well with that, right? It's just, I think everything that Mordor can make is countered so hard by just anything that the enemy has that's ranged, especially when they get fire arrows, and especially when the pre-placed armies have very high veterancy. Such that, you know, by the end, if there's a bunch of pre-placed Athelian Rangers with fire arrows, or even Gondor archers, or even yeoman archers, and then, of course, elven archers, if they're pre-placed stuff, I don't know what Mordor has that can legitimately kill those things without massive losses. And if you're taking massive losses, then you have to constantly be spamming units out, and then, not to mention... The worst part about it, which is breaking through enemy bases because of those stupid towers that can only be attacked with siege weaponry, and the gates, and all that stuff. So, like, the mortar catapults aren't as strong as the Isengard ballista. So, all those final missions where we had to break enemy castles as Isengard would have been twice as worse with, twice as bad with Mordor, in my opinion. Like, if you, I guess you could use Mumakil to bust down the gates. You could use the catapults, which I don't know, they're okay. And then I guess one thing I could have leaned in more were just the simple battering rams, right? It's just, as Isengard, I could stand under those big towers and just stand under them for like a minute before they actually started doing any noticeable damage to a squad. The issue is, as Mordor, you only have like the orcs, the orc archers, and then the Haradrim and the Soldiers of Rune. The Soldiers of Rune have some survivability in that sense. Trolls are countered by archers in general. I guess maybe drummer trolls, and then you just have to sit there and absorb the heat while your battering rams just break down the gates. I don't know. I just don't really like the idea of it. The ballista outclass the Mordor siege weaponry in almost every way, and as such, I'm going to prefer Isengard because every late game mission, like 90% of the late game missions require me to break into castles. So I know, and people have warned me about this. They said that the game is like hugely imbalanced in favor of the good factions and how underpowered Mordor is. And again, that's because one of the core fundamental concepts of the game is the veterancy system. And as Mordor, they're just like, how about we just like let them all die really easily instead and like make it virtually impossible to do anything. I do regret not trying to use that Mumakil army a bit more, but again, the idea of trying to siege down, just to siege stuff down, just seems incredibly difficult. I don't know, man. But flooding with orcs seems fun, but I don't know. I don't think I ever saw orc squads succeed at anything. They didn't really succeed at anything. They exist just to be in there to allow a couple heavier hitting units to get in and do the damage, which I guess is the whole point. I don't know, interesting stuff. They also have like really interesting ways to gain money. Like you can build orcs for free and then recycle them at a slaughterhouse to gain like a huge injection of cash right at the beginning if that's what you need. But overall, like I think the good faction had an easier to manage, more consistent source of money, whereas evil relied a bit more on spiked income by using trees or sacrificing your own units. The good faction had much easier means of gaining unit veterancy because their ranged units were incredibly strong and therefore could remain safer. And in general just weren't nearly as vulnerable to anything evil could use to potentially kill them. So like Athelian Rangers, they're just Gondor Rangers. But, you know, for all intents and purposes, they're Athelian Rangers. They don't have armor, but they're never getting hit by anything, so it doesn't matter. Because they kill, like, especially if you're against the Mordor armies, which, like, if you have 4 to 5 squads of even semi-veteran seed Athelian Rangers, nothing that Mordor has could potentially get close to touch those things. It's just, you know, when we played as Mordor or even Isengard, there were never enough Athelian Rangers stacked up in one big clump that could stop us. They were always kind of spread out in a line, like, you know, they might have come in with 4 or 5 squads, but they never all had fire arrows, nor were they all veteran seed, nor did they attack in a giant clump. It was always just, like, here's 2, and they're kind of spread out in a long, thin line, and there's 2 more squads behind them coming, and that kind of stuff, right? We could handle that. But again, playing from the good perspective, the Rangers were, without a doubt, the strongest of the units. The Rohirrim were really fun to use. I also much prefer the good cavalry a lot more. They allowed you to get around the map and scout a lot easier, whereas Warg Riders were weaker, like way more vulnerable to fire, weaker against different types of units, did way less trample damage, it seemed like, and again, just gets mowed down a lot faster by ranged units compared to the good faction. But that's also because as evil, you don't have nearly as good ranged options. The Uruk-hai crossbowmen are good, but they're not rangers. They have more survivability though, but you need it because you have to like run in through broken down gates while you're getting pelted by these stupid towers constantly. I don't know. I feel like I'm going out on a bit of a low note, if only because I just didn't really care for the Mordor faction, as I had mentioned several times through the campaign. And Isengard was fine, but still wasn't my favorite. I think if I had to play every final mission as only Gondor, I would have had a better time. But I was splitting between Gondor, Rohan, all that stuff. I will say at the end of the day, I really liked this game. I just think it was weird that 25% of the playable factions were just weird. I don't know why they just weren't made a little more consistent, but it's also just thematically appropriate that the orcs are meant to be fodder, I suppose, right? That makes sense. Just hydrating here because I've been talking a lot, but overall, I think that the game did feel pretty whole. There were a couple weird bugs, like there were a couple missions where I couldn't get specific optional objectives because they were like off the map or whatever. Like I couldn't like break open a cocoon because it was unselectable, stuff like that. Really minor stuff, but overall, it was just kind of just like really minor stuff that was barely noticeable. I guess if you were like an ultra completionist, that could be incredibly frustrating. I am a completionist, but I don't get broken up over something like that because it's not giving me like some super long-term benefit, though we didn't get total victory as the evil faction. I had a lot of fun naming my squads as good faction. I didn't do it as the evil faction, if only because, again, at the end there, I felt like I was just sort of rushing through to get to the end. I assume some of that was kind of coming through in the videos and in the commentary, but again, I wanted to do a full clear of the map. Maybe it wasn't that appropriate for making as part of this series, but I wanted to do it. And again, whether I should have included it in the footage or not is up for debate. But, I had a good time doing it regardless, and I really enjoyed the final missions of both. It was fun pillaging Minas Tirith, like actually winning as evil when going up against Minas Tirith, and I also quite liked the Black Gate mission. And I regret my poor showing as the Gondor faction before Rohan showed up. All those guys went out in a blaze of glory, as they were supposed to. I'd like to remind everybody. Honestly, some of my favorite units were those Mumakil. It just sucks that they die so fast. They die so fast to like nearly everything. It's just because, again, the good ranged units and with fire arrows are just against those things are so strong. But they're so fun when you get a good trample in and you could take out a bunch of units at once. So that was pretty cool. These credits are still going. I really wouldn't have thought that this game from like 2002 or 3, I want to say. It might have been later than that. What year did Return of the King win Best Picture? It was around that time, I know. But Return of the King Best Picture. 2004. So this game must have been early mid-2000s. And I don't even remember what I was saying before I was talking about Return of the King Best Picture. Oh, I was just saying that I just can't imagine that this many people worked on this. I guess a lot of this is localization stuff. But I can't believe that this many people worked on this game. It's a good game. At the same time, I also think that there is not that much variety either. Right? The bonus objectives seemed randomly generated. Or sort of, like there was a lot of like, put this squad in this stance, but maybe it'll be pikemen or maybe it'll be soldiers of Rune. It just depends based on which army you're using. I also found it funny how a lot of the missions assumed you would have the Mordor faction, like clearly assumed you would have the Mordor faction, when I did not. Man, they're still going. Lots of product managers from different countries. I feel it appropriate to let these play. Now, do we go and we play Battle for Middle-earth 2 immediately, or do we move on to a different game to eventually circle back and play Battle for Middle-earth 2, and by extension, Rise of the Witch King? I have not decided. I know that the campaign for Battle for Middle-earth 2 is shorter. It's about half the length, is my understanding. So, I guess based on that, we could just jump right into it. I feel like this series did go on longer than I would have liked it to, but that's because I did the whole, conquer the whole map thing, which was fun, but ultimately pointless, even though, getting to level 10 helps you smash the last map pretty well, unless you're me playing Gondor at the Black Gate, of course. But, to be fair, that Black Gate mission was a lot harder when they're sending in, like, super high veterancy trolls running at you, like the armored trolls. They get armor when they hit veterancy 2 or something. When they're sending in like 5 of those at a time, then yeah, they're gonna kill your rangers, if only because they're super veterancy and can survive the shots. But that's where things fell apart, and I didn't have only rangers. If I would have built only rangers and said, why am I making knights? I don't need these knights. Make only rangers. Why do I have archers? We don't need archers. Just make rangers over and over and over again. All right, this continues to go. They're playing the credits from New Line Cinema on the films, I think. So we're gonna go ahead. Well, okay, if I understand, it's because they took footage from it, so they're giving some selective credits. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna shut this down now. We don't need to see, we all know who the cast was from the Lord of the Rings trilogy in the early 2000s. Incredible set of films. If you haven't seen them, it's potentially because you're young and weren't alive when they came out, but these are films that you need to watch. They're quintessential fantasy films, along with the book series. The books and the films share very different tones. Make fun of something like the Silmarillion for how dry it is. I think the Silmarillion is one of my favorite books ever. I don't know, I really like the history-esque book tone of it interspersed with like little more personalized tales like the Children of Hurin or something like that. I always found that really cool, but I also like the framework of like the timeline as things were happening. I don't know why. I just thought that the way Tolkien wrote those were just delightful. But that's just me. I know a lot of people might struggle to get into that because it's not particularly exciting, and it's just a specific style that some people enjoy. Anyway, we don't have to talk about this anymore because we talked enough. But I hope you enjoyed this series. I'd like to hear your feedback on what we should be playing next. I will probably poll the channel members again on what we're going to do. But I am looking forward to Battle for Middle-earth. We will certainly play it, whether it be next time or at some point in the future. We will certainly be making a series for that as well. If not, I have some ideas for what the next series would be otherwise. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time. If you liked the video, hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to see more in the future. See ya.